Hello. Once again, welcome to Talk Shop, your favorite online sizzling show. And as we always say here, we tell the truth. And when we do that, we allow the chips to fall where they may. We don't decide where the chips will fall. We tell the truth and let the chips fall where they may. And as I always say, truth crushed to earth shall rise again. In the meantime, the day that I don't ask you this question, you should tell me that, KSM, there's something wrong with you. I will always ask, man, what time is it? And you always respond, man, it's nation time. It is nation time, nation time. We have a hot plate for you today. But before I start, I want to wish a very, very belated happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday, to my good friend, Chief Inspector Didali Akato of Operations at the Police Headquarters. Happy birthday, man. I'm sorry it's belated, but power to you, man. All right. And by the way, quick update. Charlie, the man almost killed me. So I actually had to do an X-ray. The pain was still there. So I want to do an MRI. And during the MRI, they discovered that I have a torn ligament here. And they tell me to take 3 months to heal. Oh, Charlie. But one good thing, Charlie, I will not stay in my lane. 68, I went to meet with a 35-year-old man on a tennis court. I'll stay in my lane. It doesn't matter. Look, I play tennis with my grandchildren. Anyway, let's do a hot show today. Let's do a show today, man. And listen, folks. You saw what I did, the last show I did. I called it A Miracle at Parliament. We were all sitting out somewhere when Honorable Anodonpre did a press conference that this woman called Imafa Hardcastle had insulted him, and he was so pissed. He did this meeting in the Parliament House, how people should learn to respect Parliament, and how he, the Honorable Anodonpre, Member of Parliament. Now this lady has said something about how silly he was being. This man was pissed.
A lady I have never met in my life. Only later to be told she's called Victoria Mfa Hardcastle, who is the acting chief executive officer for the Petroleum Commission. Speaker, I didn't say a word to her. I didn't provoke her in any way. Suddenly, insults were being hurled at me. Silly, stupid, useless. Speaker, I felt abused.
Please address me.
Speaker, with the greatest of respect, I felt very abused. I feel my reputation is lowered by these attacks.
This one was pissed. And if you remember, I even did a show on it because that was the first time I'd seen this MPP man so pissed. And actually, he got a bipartisan support for being pissed. Obiasio is okay. Anodonpre is okay. Oh, I mean, that was the first time I saw this friend of mine was Abujinapo. He was actually with the MPP that we all considered a very arrogant administration for 8 years. Even he spoke against arrogance. And he said, he mentioned the name of Rawlings and Mahama, that they eschew violence. Listen to Abujinapo.
Mr. Speaker, the issue or the concept of arrogance of power is one that I believe we should all be mindful of. Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, I will refer to the founder of the NDC himself, President Rawlings, who's had several occasions to make submissions and analysis of arrogance of power. And I think, Mr. Speaker, himself, in some of your official statements, you've underscored this point of the need for us to eschew arrogance of power. So, Speaker, this government is less than 1 month old. And I don't say this from a partisan lens, but I say this as a canker that we all should watch. Those of us who are the privilege of serving in the erstwhile government, the jury is still out there. how we conducted ourselves. Our colleagues can attest how we conducted ourselves. But those who've been given the opportunity and privilege to serve now, I think it's absolutely important that they be mindful that they are serving at the behest of the people. And therefore, they should serve in humility. And they should serve with respect. Just because the president himself, and I refer to President Mahama, has had multiple occasions to call on his appointees to eschew arrogance of power. His first swearing-in ceremony, which was the time he sworn in the respected Minister for Education and others, this was a theme, the major theme he spoke to.
He was advising that people should eschew arrogance. I said, coming from you, okay, I guess I respect that. And the thing was so strong among parliamentarians in their unison that even Haruna Idrisu got up and spoke. And basically what he said was that, yeah, he understands what Anodon Prayer was saying, and this can happen to any of them, which means that any of them can be insulted, and they are parliamentarians. You dare not do that. Listen to how he put it.
Mr. Speaker, as I listen to him, we only can appeal to him that we share what the Honorable Member for Damangu said, that this House must stand united, indeed unanimous, in condemning the conduct and in demanding an apology and a retraction of it. So to honorable members, we do not and we should not accept that conduct and that insult. Today it is him, tomorrow it may be you. That is why we must stand united in condemning it. But to honorable minority whip, I'm pleading with you, forgive her.
So the thing I'm trying to say here is that all of a sudden, Parliament is so honorable. The members are so distinguished. The members are such high quality people that you dare not insult any of them. As a matter of fact, what Another Prayer was hoping was that they will bring this man to the disciplinary committee so that she's disciplined in Parliament.
Pending the formation of the privilege committee, Speaker, I am inviting you and making pleadings to you. And I know you are one person, you are very passionate about Parliament and the respect that we should command in society as an arm of government. I'm humbly inviting you to make consequential orders and to ensure that this matter is dealt with ultimately.
What did she do? She called him silly.
What is silly?
You heard the word she used. What called me silly? She called me silly.
Are you a silly child?
No. We will deal with this matter. You called me silly.
I don't have time for you.
No. I'm not.
Did I mention your name? Why are you taking a hat on your head? Did I mention your name? You know you were fighting on TV about this, your seat. You are coming to select over here.
Please.
Did I mention your name?
You cannot call me
Did
silly.
I mention your name?
A whole parliamentarian. So there we were thinking that parliamentarians have this respect for themselves. They don't want to be called silly. They demand respect and everything. Lo and behold, I can say that the most ugly, or one of the ugliest scenes in Parliament, started by some ignorant thinking person to disrupt Parliament, order them to throw a chair on the table and split the table, and actually order for a massive disorder in Parliament. Listen to him, then I'll come back. Look at this.
What did you tell me now?
Oh, come on!
What did you tell me now?
Oh, come on!
him saying they should remove the tables? And did you see the chaos? Master, the following morning, my friends in the US, UK, wherever, sending me texts and clips. KSM, what is happening in our country? What is this chaos? It was disgraceful. I don't pray. I'm telling you straight up. To order such chaos in Parliament? And you know the sad part? We say I pray was silly. Oh. That's the Father, forgive them all, for they don't know what they do. We see a prayer silly, so the whole world should come to a standstill. Amy for Hardcastle, how dare you call me silly? And you know how they present that thing? Oh, I was minding my own business. I didn't even say anything. I was just going somewhere nicely, and then this man shouted and called me silly.
I didn't say a word to her. I didn't provoke her in any way. Suddenly, insults were being hurled at me. Silly, stupid, useless.
Now we know. Now we know. You are giving us the evidence of the kind of person you are. Ordering such chaos in Parliament and insisting that somebody has called you silly, so she has practically dishonored parliamentarians. Folks, and as you watch this, let's watch it one more time. Watch this thing. Can these people call themselves honorable? Or should we call them alleged honorables? Watch this thing. You know the sad thing? One time I went to the filling station and the guy came and said, "Hey, honorable, me fill it with tank, no." And do you know what upset me? Not that he said he's going to fill my tank. The fact that he called me honorable. I mean, think about that. It has gotten to the point that when they call you honorable, you say pacho, me honorable. Is that good for you people? Is that what you have earned? Isn't it strange that these days, two names, when they call you, hey, pastor, or honorable, now it's true. It's a shame. Folks, if you want to act honorable, it's in the decency of life that you live. Your communication, what you say, how you speak it, your whole conduct. If everything is put together well, people see it. And you don't even have to tell anybody you're honorable. Somebody will just say, Akwede Chale is very honorable. Let people see it. It is something that you earn. And you earn it from your doings and your actions. You don't demand it. Listen to what Alan Babin had to say.
But before we ask for our pound of flesh, respect is earned. Please, respect is earned. How we behave or misbehave will determine how the people will behave towards us or misbehave towards us. Members, you are referred to as honorable. Behave honorably.
Thank you very much, Speaker Babin, and thank you for the advice. And I hope you guys are listening to the advice. I don't pray. I'm sure you are married with children. I don't know. I'm sure you are. And all you basically people that were following the crowd. Let's move out. Let's destroy things. All of you. I don't know, but let me ask you this. In case your child, your child was watching this because it was live on TV worldwide. In case your child was watching this and he saw you and he asked your wife, Mommy, Pacho, why is Daddy doing this? What should your mother tell her or him? It's a disgrace. It is a complete disgrace. Look, President Mahama, you say you want to reset Ghana. Eh? We support you. But do you know where you start your resetting from? Starting from Parliament. Get the parliamentarians to know that people didn't queue in the sun, in the cold and everything to elect them so they can come to Parliament and play the buffoon. Let's say what happened in Parliament had happened at an SHS. or maybe Kofodia or Accra or somewhere, SHS students, throwing things around, crying, doing silly things. Let's say it had happened at an SHS school, and somebody had filmed it and put it on the news that today at the Tamasco or wherever, the students got angry and destroyed plates and blah, 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 broke tables, blah, blah, blah. What would you say? Hey, these youth nowadays, they are so indisciplined. Shall I how we insult them? In tree, and then call Amaba. And then call we will insult them with vim and vigor. How these youth these days do not respect anything. But folks, it didn't happen in SHSO. It happened in the Parliament of Ghana, where we have our legislature, the highest body that makes laws for Ghana. That is where it happened. Led by somebody who was upset that he had been called silly. Shame on you. So if this was in an SHS, of course, maybe they would have expelled them or suspended them. You know. Well, I'm glad I've heard that Bagwing has also suspended 3 of them, you know, for 2 weeks. And I hear that they say they will take it up in court. I hope that they go to court. And I hope the court will come and tell Ghanaians that they shouldn't have not been suspended because what they did was right. We are all living here. We'll see. My saddest thing is that the 2-week suspension, he should be made to come and sit in front of television and render a public apology to the nation. All of them. They should be made to sit in front of TV, render an apology live, radio and television, to Ghana. And that's the only way that they will learn, that the kids are learning from them. And so they shouldn't be stupid. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the vetting. A vetting simply means that you are going to question people regarding a certain position they are about to hold. Make sure that they are qualified for that position and they actually understand what it takes to occupy that position. That's a vetting. I'm very, very, very sorry that for the most part of the vetting, Afenyo making turned it into an inquisition. For those of you who are not familiar with the words, let me tell you something. A vetting is different from an inquisition. A vetting, somebody has come to do the job, they have this background, you question them to make sure that their background actually qualifies them to do the job. You give them practical examples of things that, how they would handle it if they had the opportunity. That's vetting. An inquisition is almost a level of prosecuting. It's very adversarial. It's like, this man, I'll show you where power lies. Look, folks, this is what I don't understand. When you're a small boy, you're a whole lawyer. I'm sure you're a lawyer. I'm sure you've gone for interviews. Imagine that you have sent your resume to a law firm that I want to become a senior partner or some law firm. Imagine you have sent your CV to a law firm. And the guy who is interviewing you is looking at the CV. You have your experiences, you have everything on your CV. And it says, but before I even ask, are you married? And does your wife give you money? Wow, you are shocked that the interviews are. But this job I'm applying for, what has it to do with my marriage? And if my wife gives me money? But you see how some of your questions, because you were becoming like performing an inquisition, you actually ask Sam George if the money that his wife has given him, has he paid taxes on it?
Are you aware whether your wife, through her industry, has been paying her taxes? Have you become aware of it?
Mr. Chairman, those are my wife's please. That is personal to your wife.
Yes. My wife.
So,
my goodness. It's very, very strange, you, Afenyo Marking, that you were up there crusading against oral. And the reason you say you were crusading against the oral was that these are people who are going on a wild goose chase and pursuing personal vendetta. One kind. Listen to what you said.
I condemn in no uncertain terms
the establishment of a so-called committee called ORA. It is a needless committee. It has no constitutional backing. And this committee is only in for personal vendetta. If we allow this committee to continue with its so-called wild goose chase, it will disturb the governance of this country.
Personal advantage, chasing a wild goose chase. What were you doing in Parliament? Were you not pursuing a wild goose chase? And were you not following a personal vendetta? Because there were some people that you talked to them as if you were vetting them. Within 10, 15 minutes they are done. And those that you have a personal vendetta against, 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours. And I don't mind if the 4 hours cry is filled with intelligent questions on how Samuel Kujito will handle a worldwide crisis when it comes to the foreign arena, how he would balance his beliefs with things. No! You're more interested in what their wife will cook for dinner for them and whether it's delicious. Please, you guys, what it was a vetting. It wasn't an inquisition. And my disappointment was this: once you have started on the Inquisition and how you're against oral and how you think oral is illegal and unconstitutional, the man was sitting right there in front of you. Ask him about oral. Ask him about how illegal it is. Ask him about the composition. Ask him why they are going to use it as a personal vendetta. And then when you went into that area and then he started digging into you and your assets and the land you were at Winneba, then it became a whole new story.
I'm even looking into your own acquisition in Winneba. I have the document here. It also varies. So,
Honorable nominee, because you have brought me in, I'm able to find out from you about my properties in Winneba that you know. I want you to share with the public.
This specific one is a lease between you and the government of Ghana on 22nd March 2023. The name Alexander Afenyo Markins for 99 years. This is in Winneba. The official search certificate indicates that the site also is covered by a lease dated 22nd March 2023 between the government of Ghana on one part and Alexander Afenyo Markin on the other part for a term of 99 years. So that is what the search certificate states.
And I was sitting down watching, why am I watching this? Why am I seeing this? What relevance has this got to do with anything? Folks, listen, I always say this, that the kind of change we went through to get where we are, let's not joke with it. So I'm going to give a very, very, very important advice. You know, at first I thought this was an MPP thing. Say, that's throwing themselves about, but it is not, folks. I have many platforms that I join, and trust me, there are many MPP people on the platform, and even my friends that I hang out with, many of them are MPP, and to your surprise, many of them are as disgusted as I am with the way things are happening. Many are disgusted, folks. What is this? You know, and let me say this, folks. I'm not a prophet, too. Me, I'm not a man of God. I just watch things. Let me advise you, Afenyo Markin and Anodon Pre, and all of you people who think that somebody used a word that I really like. He said, Muntumistic. I think the word is based on Muntumi. I say, well, by heart, or kasa by heart. Somebody used that word, that there's this Muntumistic spirit that is dwelling in you folks. You know, so you think that the best approach to solving intelligent issues is to go by the Muntumistic approach and turn everything into a macho thing, a manhood thing. And I tell you, and I say, and I insist this. that there's a very, very thin line between inferiority complex and being macho. Very, very thin line between inferiority complex and being macho. Most of the time, you'll be surprised. Most of the time. But most of the people that make so much noise and go big, like they're all that, is all because of inferiority complex. And I can sense it. I can sense it. It's part of this whole optimistic era that you guys think that this is the way to go. My advice to you, and this goes to everyone, but especially you politicians who love power, this is the advice you should never forget. Check this out. If you want to get the favor of people, you do two things. You capture their hearts and their minds. Let me repeat that. If you want to get the favor of people, you do two things. You capture their hearts and their minds. Trust me, when you do that, you get the favor of people. And the same thing works in the reverse. If you want people to find you distasteful, the same thing. Try and make yourself distasteful between their minds and their hearts, and they'll throw you off. So a quick advice to Finyama King and Anodompre and all you macho guys who have just emerged, trying to make a stand because you are coming from a majority to a minority, and that has put you in shock. And because of the shock, you have had this inferiority complex permeating and oozing out of every pore. Let me tell you this. If you want to get the favor of the people back, try to do things that appeals to their hearts and their minds. That's the way you get people back. But when you do things that push people away, you're doing the opposite. And let me warn you on this. And this is a feeling that I have, and I can be very, very wrong. That's why in the beginning I said this is not about me and NPP. It's about me and Afenyo King and Dompre. Because having interacted with many NPP people, I can tell you point blank that even most of them find what you're doing distasteful. Let me tell you what I feel could happen in Ghana right here. We are all here right here. You mark it on the wall, mark this date and mark it on the wall and watch what I said. If you should continue like this, if you should keep making the NPP so unpopular, if you stick on this trend that this is the way to go, this matricem is the way to go, trust me, I don't know when, but sooner than later, you're going to create a splinter group in the NPP. Mark it on the wall where water won't touch it. You mark it on the wall. If you continue like this optimistic, the macho, it doesn't work. And I'm putting you to point blank. If you continue like this, watch it. Sooner than later, you're going to create a splinter group, because there's going to be a group that are going to come up and say, Charlie, these people, they don't represent the NPP. We are not this arrogant and by heart, and we don't talk like this. If that's the tradition we have been coming from in the last 8 years, we know that things must change. When I say changes here, you didn't understand me. Things must change. Our attitudes, our everything we do must change, because going forward, it won't accommodate some of these things. So take my warning, or tell me, Colonel of KSM, what do you know? But I'm promising you, if you choose to go this way, and this is the way you're going to stay, very, very soon, or let me say sooner than later, you see splinter groups in the NPP, because most of them do not want to be represented as if they're all a bunch of whiners. And I mean that. And folks, I really mean it all. I mean it, that it's a very fine line between machoism and inferiority complex. Because some of them are totally not necessary. For example, this workout, that I recluse myself because of some misunderstanding of what the speaker said. So you work everybody out. The vetting continued. Sadly, it was one-sided because you left the NDC to vet the fellow NDC, but the vetting continued. And the presence of the MPP would have given some results in terms of a balance. But you worked out. But I'm not surprised. Even when you were doing government business, you worked out. And how much less doing minority business? If you know you're going to be working out, then don't even come. Why come and go? Just stay home. So what I'm saying is that it's not that we don't know any other MPP and this is all we know. No. We have seen the intelligent MPP before. Now, I don't know where this new system is coming from, but we have seen them. And when we are voting somebody, when we are vetting people, this was an inquisition. Okay. So somebody says something about Kufuor that you don't like. Somebody says something about Bawumia that you don't like because he's your party leader, so you don't like it, I understand. But you carry that into the vetting and turn that into an inquisition to find out why they said things. Listen, I don't mean to go all the way back, but a lady like Eslowusu, wasn't she Minister for Communications? Do you know she opened her mouth at one point and said Mahama is a thief? Check Ghana Web, check your records. Wasn't Mahama a thief? What's his name? Anodompre. You got up and made a statement to the effect that Mahama was a curse to Ghana. And I remember many irate NDC people say, how dare you say that? And I told them, listen, you don't agree with what he said, but he has a right. That's what he thinks. Let him say it. So that's what I'm talking about. You called him a curse to Ghana. So 3 or 4 years later, if they are doing something, somebody come and say, we will not make you a deputy minority chief whip because you called the former president a curse. Come on, guys. Now let me tell you something. You guys, I want to educate you. Mostly you're democratic. You want to democracy in team. Then. Let me educate you. Why democracy can sometimes be considered difficult. Because the essence of democracy is this. Listen to this all. I may disagree with what you are saying, but I will defend your right to say it. I may disagree with what you are saying, but I will defend your right to say it. What does it mean? It means you may say something that I don't agree with. I think it's totally hogwash. I disagree with it totally. But I must also realize that opinions are like gnosis. And if that's your opinion, it's your right. Whether it's right or wrong is a different issue. But if that's your opinion, I'll defend you. That if that's your opinion, they can. So I think you have to start understanding these things after you're marking. That you may disagree with people on what they say. And you must totally disagree with them sometimes. But hey, they have a right to say it. Sadly, this is the painful thing about democracy. Painful thing about democracy. But you turn a veteran into an inquisition. You said this on this day that Nanadro said this. Will you now retract and apologize?
Honorable nominee,
Mr. Chairman.
you have just watched the video. Would you want to explain what you mean by Nana Akufo-Addo did not steal from the public purse, but he actually stole the purse? Would you explain what you meant by that? And after that, let the public know whether you still stand by that statement or you seek to retract.
Abu Jinapotu was saying the same thing. You said this at the president's land. Will you now retract to apologize?
The president's children did not buy state land. On the evidence, on the record, it is absolutely clear that they did not buy state land. Will the nominee concede, given that he's seeking to be foreign minister and will be required to be fair to all manner of persons, that the president's children were wrongly accused and he will apologize to them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And then it ended up saying that we ended up realizing that even the land issue, this man said the information he got from lands.
Much for the question. The Honorable Abujinapo will recall that when I put out that article, I supported the article with evidence from the Lands Commission. I attached an official search that I had conducted on those two lands. Indeed, those are lands that you have in Somnam and then the Lot boutique, a fashion boutique. And I sought to inquire from the Lands Commission the status, the ownership of the land. And the Lands Commission responded in that official search, which I published. And Ghanaians can go on my social media handles. You see the official search results, where the Lands Commission, in their response, indicated that all those lands are government lands. So in my article, I asked a question. Is this another state capture? Is President Akufo-Addo allocating state lands to his daughters? It was a question. Based on empirical evidence, what the Lands Commission had told me in writing as official search results when I put in that official search.
So please, vetting is important. You want to make sure that the person is going to occupy a position that they understand. It has nothing to do with their marriage. It got to a point where it became a display of social media postings. Did you post this? Did you post that? Do you retract this? Do you retract that?
Did you write on your social media wall those criticisms? Did you write them?
I want to believe that I express my views on social media out. Yes.
We would give you an opportunity to refer to your social media wall and read aloud and in full.
This vetting is the person qualified for the position. And if they are not qualified, these are the reasons that disqualifies them. Bim, bim, bim. If they're qualified, this is why they're qualified. Bim, bim, bim. But it's not a matter of spending all your life to capture everything that the person has said on a social media post, to let them answer it and apologize, when there's nothing to do with the specific positions that they are applying for. Master, please learn to conduct yourselves. Mahama, you want to reset this country? I'm telling you, please start resetting from Parliament. Make sure that after all the vetting has been done and you have taken your ministers and now we have a full house, we have who is the majority, who is the minority, everybody should be present at every sitting. Of course, every now and then a parliamentarian will have to not be around for certain reasons, but that should be in the desperate minority. Overall, Munya started, everybody has sworn in, business has started. I don't want to see any empty chairs behind the majority. We call on a farm, we say, I don't give a hoot. Few things should be very, very clear. Parliamentarians, please, while you're on the floor discussing things, don't be on the phone. Don't. It is unprofessional. It is not parliamentary. Go and stand somewhere, not in the full glare of cameras. We are making conversation on the phone. Please, that should end. And also, please, during the vetting, I saw my another good, respected friend, Mr. Kweku Amprechum. Master, you are asking a question, you are on TV, and then chewing gum, yum, 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 chewing like that. This should be part of the resetting. Please, I know you're all dignified honorables, but please, over it you'll be, not when you are chewing. Put the gum, wrap it nicely and put it somewhere. We shouldn't even see you chewing and asking questions. Anyway, that's it. So folks, this time all eyes are going to be on Parliament. I'm telling you, the reset agenda, we are starting from Parliament. Can't go there and misbehave like schoolboys and throw things around and then all of a sudden demand that will give you respect as honorables. And then please, you got the wrong number. Do the right thing. and we will respect you as honorables. In the meantime, folks, this is KSM. This comes to the end of Talk Shop. And finally, one more time, a big belated birthday to my good friend, Chief Inspector Gorson Akatodela of the Police Headquarters Operations Manager, Manager of Operations, something. I gave you all the power you need. Anyway, KSM here signing off until we meet again in the next episode with some more talk where we tell the truth and let the chips fall where they may. What time is it, folks? It's nation time.